Yeah, what it do, baby? It's MOONKID Max back with another episode of MOONKID Max's reviews and reactions. Welcome. What's good, man? Welcome. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to y'all about moving to Los Angeles or any big city. Just the top 5 tips that I have found from experience. You know, I'm not saying I'm not an expert on nothing. I'm not an expert on nothing, but I am an expert in experience. So I'm gonna give y'all 5 tips for moving to a big city because I did it myself multiple times, different cities, but Los Angeles has been my second home after Virginia. I'm originally from Virginia, born and raised in Virginia, lived in Virginia till I was 25. At the age of 25, I moved to Los Angeles. Now I'm 31. During COVID, I was actually back in Virginia, but I moved back to Los Angeles once things started getting popping again, and now we gonna get into it. Let's go. So, MOONKID tip number 1, the most important tip, literally the foundation. You gotta find shelter, man. Once you find shelter, you gotta find a home. First, you just find a place to get yourself situated in the city, fill the city out wherever you are. Then you gotta find a home. Now, you can't progress in your goals and all of your aspirations and do everything that you need to do until you find a home, not just a shelter, a home. Because mental health matters, and I know from experience that if you are not good in your inside, your brain is always in the mind state of survival mode. It leaves no energy, there's no room for creativity and artist mode. So it's very omega important that you find shelter and then you find a home. You make a home, and making a home includes being safe. You need to find safety. And what is safety? Safety is you have a car. Going around Los Angeles, I didn't have a car for a couple, 2-3 years. Man, it was dangerous. I kind of want to make a joke right now, but on the serious tip, me walking around all those different neighborhoods in Los Angeles was not safe, and I got into trouble. Not often, but I found myself in trouble a few good times just being in the wrong neighborhood because I was walking everywhere, taking the train, taking public transportation. That shit put some hair on my chest, dog. I ain't even gonna lie. Just taking Los Angeles public transportation in the situations that I found myself in put some hair on my chest. So yeah, you gotta go from shelter to home and safety. That's the key. And then once you're safe, you can go up, you can progress, you can elevate. I heard I think Nipsey Hussle said this, where he was like, you gotta grind till you get where you going, and then once you get where you going, you put your foot on the pedal and grind even harder. That's how it has to be. With it being like that, it leads me into my tip number 2. You gotta be willing to be uncomfortable, man. No pain, no gain is literally the most simple, oldest phrase or mantra in the book, but it's really like that. No pain, no gain. So when I say you gotta be okay being uncomfortable, you gotta cut costs. So for me, I used to pay for all the streamings, but now all I pay for is Netflix and Disney Plus. And if it's not on Netflix or Disney Plus, I'ma find another way to watch it. But I pay for Netflix and Disney Plus, and I don't pay for a whole bunch of other streaming and cable. I cut those costs. I used to pay for a gym membership. I be working out. I work out damn near every day, but I work out outside in my neighborhood, old school LA style. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I ain't even paying for the gym no more. I'ma cut that cost. You gotta cut costs. You gotta be uncomfortable. Gas is so expensive. You can't just be driving anywhere all willy-nilly. Sure, it would be nice if I could, everybody be thinking I'm out here in Los Angeles I'm on vacation every day or something, when that is not the case. You gotta make life decisions sometimes about where you're going to go, where you're going to network, where you're going to do whatever it is that you do. You can't just do it willy-nilly. You gotta strategize because gas is mad expensive. Traffic is mad annoying. It's mad aggy, bruh. So, gotta be uncomfortable. It's hard being patient. It's uncomfortable being patient, but when it comes to the come up, you have to be patient. You have to delay gratification. That is a really big thing. Delaying gratification. Delaying things that you know will make you feel good in the moment, but then later on it's not going to serve you. But whereas you do something that hurts in the moment but it'll serve you later, you got to have that concept of delayed gratification. Which leads me into tip number 3. You have to stay disciplined. You gotta stay disciplined. So on top of like being comfortable with being uncomfortable, you have to stay disciplined. You gotta be disciplined with your routine, disciplined with your goals. For me, I moved to Los Angeles in 2018, and there was various amounts of homelessness, going into hostels, going into bad roommate situations, all that. And I moved from LA in 2020, and I was in Virginia, and I was back and forth between LA. I spent some time in Atlanta, but I was really just drifting because I had this whole plan set in 2020 to go up with my YouTube channel and to go up with my music. And when COVID hit, I ended up having to just work. And it wasn't until recently that I became able to be in a position to where I felt comfortable being consistent with YouTube. And I put my mixtape out recently, and I was broken. I was a broken man, and I had to put the pieces back together. And now I'm finally in a position to go up, and I foresee myself doing well with YouTube. But it was all of the moments in the dark where I was spending all this time alone in COVID, and I was reading books by like Robert Greene, and I was reading books that were in Spanish and like learning Spanish, and I taught myself a whole nother language. And it was this schedule that I had of reading that was just so disciplined. That was, even though I'm not outside right now, I'm expanding my brain, I'm expanding my skills, and I'm staying disciplined to what I need to do, so that when I do get outside to where I'm in the moment now, I'm in Inglewood, California, finally doing what I was like visioning all those times in COVID. I was sad, I was dark and depressed. I was in the dark and depressed. And I'm just grateful, bro. And I stayed disciplined, and now all of the skills that I learned, I'm utilizing now, and I'm putting to my channel, and I'm happy. So yeah, that's a really important tip. Stay disciplined. All right, y'all. So on top of finding shelter, being willing to be uncomfortable, and staying disciplined, you gotta be adaptable. Tip number 4, stay adaptable. What do I mean by stay adaptable? Let me explain. So I'm gonna give y'all an example. In September, October of this past year, gas in Los Angeles was about $6 a gallon, bro. And gas being that expensive, and like me having to be places, and I have a job in Malibu, and that's like not cheap to drive to Malibu every day. It was really putting a monkey wrench in my budget, and I had to adapt to that. I had to see that, okay, so this is what's going on right now with gas in Los Angeles. I'm gonna have to adjust myself to move in a way where I still am able to stay in my budget, even though inflation is running rampant right now. Another example of being adaptable is you have to understand that audiences are fickle, and they could be on this wave one day and another wave another day. So because people are so fickle, whatever industry that you're in, whatever you're moving to this city for, it is important that you have an understanding of what it takes to constantly elevate and be in people's minds. I would suggest The Laws of Power, like by Robert Greene. If you really want to learn how to like have longevity, I suggest you utilize The Laws of Power, because I feel like people like Jay-Z, for example, people who whenever they drop new music, people are going to tune in because it's Jay-Z, and it's because he moves so strategically when it comes to releasing music. He's just not doing shit all willy-nilly. He has a strategy to it, and that's like being adaptable over the times. For Jay-Z to have started his career in the 90s, and for him through all these decades to be able to adapt to the different times and the different zeitgeists and different generations and the different motions, that just doesn't happen on accident. That takes strategy. So you must be adaptable. Tip number 4, when you're moving to a big city, whatever industry you're in, you gotta be adaptable. Made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I know that there are a million things you could be watching right now, but you chose to watch me, so thank you. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm working to grow the channel, but I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Number 5 tip, MOONKID tip for moving to a big city, is that you gotta network with detached emotions. These people are not your friends until they prove themselves to be your friend. I think that was something that I kind of came into the game thinking that everybody was my friend. And this is like, I think a lot of young people, you just learn this when you're young, as you get older. Like, everybody not your friend, and there are people who do things and through their actions prove to be your friend, and they prove that they want to be in your life. But it is important, I think, to network with detached emotions, and that doesn't mean you gotta be standoffish and cold to like everyone that you're conversing with and coming into contact and collaborating with. That doesn't mean y'all aren't friends. You can be acquaintances. You gotta look at it like co-workers sometimes, to be honest, just so you don't end up being in a position where you're screwed over or you're having hurt feelings over somebody when they were just playing the game. They were just doing what people do. I think it's important that outside of what you're doing as your career, or what you're doing as your grind or whatever, you do have just friends, people who have nothing to do with what you do, just people who genuinely care about you. I know you don't have family because you're moving to another city, but you can join a community, maybe reach out to your coworkers, maybe join the church or join a sports team or recreational team, just something that you can do that has nothing to do with your grind, but you build a real connection and like human, genuine emotions are attached to this relationship that you have with these people. So yeah, that's my top 5 tips for moving to a big city. For me, it was Los Angeles. If you like found this video and you already moved to a city, if you want to add something, if you haven't made the move yet but you're thinking about moving to a city, type in the city in the comments. I want to see where y'all are headed to. If anybody has like dreams of moving to Los Angeles, you can hit a brother up. I don't mind telling y'all. Sorry. I don't mind telling y'all about my experiences of moving to Los Angeles and like giving y'all any extra tips, anything that can help. I'm just trying to grow my channel right now. So yeah, that was another episode of MOONKID Max's Reviews and Reactions. I'm out. MOONKID. It's a lot of crime where I'm from, try me and get touched. Be in LA, the hood but VA in my blood. It's the Moon Wolf, nigga, come with booze and butt. Protecting the city, Los Angeles is my Gotham.